Hey there, fellow soil stewards! If you've been following along with the Soil Sensei family, you know we're all about growing jaw-dropping vegetables that make your neighbors stop mid-walk to ask, "How did you do that?" Today, we're diving deep into one of my absolute favorite topics, creating pepper plants so loaded with vibrant, meaty fruits that you'll be giving them away by the bagful. After 15 years of trial, error, and countless soil tests, I've cracked the code on organic fertilizer combinations that consistently produce peppers that are not just bigger, but bursting with flavor and nutrition. Whether you're nurturing sweet bells, fiery habaneros, or those gorgeous purple beauties that Instagram loves, the principles I'm sharing today will transform your pepper game completely. Before we jump into my proven fertilizer cocktails, let's get intimate with what makes pepper plants tick. These heat-loving beauties are actually quite different from their tomato cousins, despite what many gardening guides suggest. While tomatoes are heavy nitrogen feeders throughout their growing season, peppers have a more sophisticated appetite that changes dramatically as they mature. During the early vegetative stage, peppers do appreciate a moderate nitrogen boost to establish strong stems and lush foliage. However, here's where most gardeners go wrong. They continue feeding high-nitrogen fertilizers throughout the season, resulting in beautiful, bushy plants with disappointing fruit production. The secret lies in shifting your feeding strategy as the plants transition from growing leaves to setting fruit. Peppers also have an intense relationship with calcium and magnesium. These aren't just nice-to-have nutrients, they're absolutely critical for preventing blossom end rot and ensuring those thick, meaty walls we all crave. Phosphorus plays a starring role too, particularly during flowering and early fruit development, helping your plants set more flowers that actually turn into peppers rather than dropping off. Every great pepper harvest starts months before you even think about transplanting. My go-to soil foundation begins in late fall or early spring with what I call the Pepper Paradise base. This isn't just compost thrown on top, it's a carefully orchestrated soil ecosystem that feeds your plants all season long. Start with aged compost as your backbone, but not just any compost. I prefer a mix that's heavy on kitchen scraps and includes plenty of eggshells, hello calcium, and coffee grounds, which give a gentle nitrogen release. To every cubic yard of this compost, I incorporate a generous shovelful of aged chicken manure, which provides that perfect slow-release nitrogen profile peppers adore. Here's where it gets interesting. I always add crushed oyster shells or bone meal at this stage. Both provide long-term calcium availability, but bone meal also contributes phosphorus that'll pay dividends during flowering. The oyster shells have an added benefit of slowly raising soil pH, which peppers appreciate since they prefer slightly alkaline conditions between 6.0 and 7.0. The final foundation ingredient might surprise you: kelp meal. This ocean-derived amendment is like a multivitamin for your soil, providing trace minerals that peppers use to develop those complex flavors that make homegrown peppers so superior to store-bought alternatives. Mix all these ingredients into your planting beds at least 2 weeks before transplanting, allowing the soil biology to integrate everything into plant-available forms. Once your pepper transplants are in the ground and showing new growth, it's time for the first feeding with my growth phase formula. This combination supports strong root development and healthy vegetative growth without overdoing the nitrogen that can delay flowering. My tried-and-true recipe combines fish emulsion with worm-casting tea in a 1:2 ratio. Fish emulsion provides immediately available nutrients while the worm-casting tea delivers beneficial microorganisms that improve nutrient uptake. I apply this combination every 2 weeks during the first month after transplanting, always in the early morning or evening to avoid leaf burn. What makes this formula special is the addition of liquid seaweed extract. I add 1 tablespoon per gallon of the fish emulsion and worm-casting tea mixture. The seaweed extract contains natural growth hormones that help peppers establish robust root systems, which directly translates to better drought tolerance and higher yields later in the season. During this phase, I also side dress each plant with a small handful of aged compost mixed with a teaspoon of Epsom salt. The Epsom salt provides readily available magnesium, which peppers use heavily during chlorophyll production. Healthy, dark green leaves during this stage set the foundation for explosive fruit production later. Here's where pepper growing becomes an art form. The moment you see the first flower buds forming, you need to dramatically shift your fertilizing approach. This is when I switch to my flowering transition formula, designed to support massive flower production while beginning to build the plant's fruit-setting capacity. My flowering formula reduces nitrogen significantly while boosting phosphorus and potassium. I create this by mixing bat guano, which is high in phosphorus, with granite dust for slow-release potassium and a touch of aged compost. The ratio I use is 1 part bat guano, 2 parts granite dust, and 3 parts aged compost. This mixture gets worked into the soil around each plant at a rate of about 1/4 cup per plant. The genius of this combination lies in its release pattern. The bat guano provides an immediate phosphorus boost right when plants need it most for flower formation, while the granite dust ensures steady potassium availability throughout the fruiting season. The compost acts as a buffer, preventing nutrient burn while feeding beneficial soil organisms. I supplement this solid feeding with a liquid application every 10 days using comfrey tea mixed with a small amount of molasses. Comfrey is nature's potassium powerhouse, and the molasses feeds soil microbes that help convert organic nutrients into plant-available forms. The result is an explosion of flower production that translates directly into higher yields. Once your plants are loaded with small developing peppers, it's time for the final nutritional push with my fruit production formula. This is where we focus entirely on supporting those developing fruits to reach their maximum size and develop the thick walls that make peppers so satisfying to grow and eat. The star of this phase is calcium. I create a liquid calcium supplement by dissolving crushed eggshells in white vinegar for 2 weeks, creating a calcium acetate solution that plants can absorb immediately through both roots and leaves. I dilute this solution at a rate of 2 tablespoons per gallon of water and apply it both as a soil drench and foliar spray every week during peak fruit development. Combined with this calcium boost, I continue feeding with the comfrey and molasses tea, but I add wood ash to the mix for additional potassium. Wood ash should be used sparingly since it's quite alkaline, but peppers during fruit production can handle and benefit from this extra potassium boost. I use just 1 teaspoon of wood ash per gallon of comfrey tea. The final secret weapon for this phase is banana peel tea. I know it sounds folksy, but banana peels are loaded with potassium and break down quickly in water. I soak chopped banana peels in water for 48 hours, then use this nutrient-rich liquid as part of my weekly feeding routine. The potassium from banana peels seems to be in a particularly plant-friendly form that peppers absorb readily. Success with these organic combinations isn't just about what you feed, but when you feed it. I've developed a weekly schedule that aligns with pepper plants' natural rhythms and maximizes nutrient uptake while preventing overfeeding. Week 1 of each month gets the heavy feeding with solid amendments worked into the soil. This is when I apply compost, aged manure, or my specialized formulas depending on the plant's growth stage. Week 2 receives liquid feeding with fish emulsion, comfrey tea, or my calcium solution. Week 3 gets another liquid feeding, often with a different nutrient focus than week 2. Week 4 is rest week, allowing plants to fully utilize the nutrients they've received while preventing salt buildup that can occur with over-fertilization. This rhythm mimics natural nutrient availability patterns and prevents the feast or famine cycle that stresses plants and reduces productivity. Plants fed on this schedule consistently outperform those receiving random or excessive fertilization, producing not just more peppers but peppers with better flavor, color, and storage life. Ready to transform your pepper patch into the envy of your neighborhood? These organic fertilizer combinations have helped thousands of Soil Sensei subscribers grow their best peppers ever, and now it's your turn to experience the satisfaction of harvesting basket after basket of perfect peppers. If this guide helped spark some ideas for your garden, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest soil wisdom. Share this with your fellow gardeners too. After all, great gardens grow better when we grow together. Drop a comment below and let me know which pepper varieties you're planning to supercharge with these techniques this season.